Oh, fam, we are rushing out to the woods right now. Deer season, rut. Okay, got my overalls with my harness, my hat, backpack, boots, all good. Let's go chase some whitetails. Just so much fun, so much adrenaline takes place this time of year for me. Chasing deer is what I freaking live for, I tell you what. So I'm gonna tell you a little bit of a story about this buck I'm trying to kill right now. I think it's a 4.5-year-old 8-pointer, at least a mainframe 8. He might have some stickers, but he's a mainframe 8-pointer. 4.5-year-old deer, huge. I mean, this deer's body is so big and his neck is so heavy. But in early October, I think it was October like 10th-ish, his neck was so big, it went from his neck straight down to his like brisket. I mean, he was just huge. Big deer, old deer, for around here, 4.5-year-old deer, I mean, he's mature. I mean, he's ready to be shot. I mean, he's a big deer. So we saw him the other night for the first time on the hoof, chasing 8 does across the field. Came out of the corn behind us and ran across the field, tried to grunt at him, little snort wheeze, got him to stop, got his curiosity, but he was on those does. I mean, he wasn't letting up for anything. He's on those does. There's a lot of does in that patch of timber that we own, and there's no doubt in my mind he is going to be cruising more, looking for the rest of those does that he can either tend to breed, you know, whatever. There's a lot of does, and there's only 2 mature bucks that we've seen on camera so far. Now, bucks on camera versus bucks that are actually sneaking through the property, 2 very different things. One might just move a little bit more and make his presence known. Others might be laying low until the time is right and then just going after the does once it's really time for breeding. You know, sometimes deer just have different personalities. Some deer are just homebodies and they're just on every single camera, and then other deer just kind of lay low until the time's right and then they move in from far away. But bottom line is, we're after a mature deer tonight that I'm hoping we can get a crack at. He's been very active on the cameras, very active on his feet the last couple nights, chasing does, sniffing, just making his rounds. So I'm just hoping this might be the night that we can pull the trigger on this deer and get him on the ground. When I say pull the trigger, I mean literally, I'm taking a crossbow tonight. I know that there's some people out there that call those cheater bows. It's not real archery, whatever. You know what? It's more important to me to get a mature deer on the ground than it is to brag about what piece of equipment I shot it with. I'm shooting a $250 crossbow with a nice Nikon BDC scope on it. That the thing is a tack driver. I mean, it is a tack driver. At 50 yards, I can stack them in a 1-inch group. I mean, it shoots really good. So I'm not going to complain. If I can get a mature deer down, I got a mature deer down. I'm happy as can be. So let's get off into the woods, see if we can't get our tag around this deer tonight. Set up on my new Ohio property. On the south side of the property, we got a strong 7-8 mile an hour north wind. Not bad, but it's a nice strong wind. So we're on the south side, hoping to catch a buck cruising. I just got a picture from my spy point camera, my cell cam. 10 minutes ago, there was a small buck chasing a doe right on her, about 200 yards away. So that's a good sign that even with a little bit of rain, even though it's a young buck, a buck is sticking with a doe and following her around at 4:30 in the afternoon. So fingers crossed. Really hoping it's a good evening. There's a little bit of rain, but it's not bad. It's just a real light drizzle. This could be good, or this could be a long, slow set. We'll see. is October 28th, I believe. I believe it's the 28th. On a river system on my Ohio property. I got in here about 4:15. It's about 4:25 now. I did bump a doe on my way in. I don't know how I was supposed to avoid it. I took my path in that I have to get back here. I've never bumped a deer off it before, but she happened to be bedded like right next to my trail. I didn't even see her until I was right up on her, and then she just stood up and walked off. I haven't been back in the spot since Reagan hit that doe with her bow, so it's been a little while. We just haven't had a west wind, and today isn't supposed to be a great day for deer hunting in terms of the weather, apparently, according to the deer forecast apps that I have, all of them. They say today's not supposed to be great for hunting, but the other night I had a 0% chance of deer movement type of day, and I saw 50 deer, so I just decided to say screw it with the apps. I'm just gonna hunt according to the wind and use my own judgment. You know, if it's over 15 miles an hour, I'm not gonna hunt. If it's under 2, not gonna hunt. But if the wind speeds aren't bad, the wind direction's good, and the temperatures aren't ridiculous, I'm gonna hunt. It's 5:55. Currently seen probably 12 to 15 does. A lot of them are over 100 yards off, so it's kind of tough to get camera shots real quick as they pass through the timber. I did just have a couple come in about 5 minutes ago. Again, they're about 100 yards out, but they were kind of on a pretty heavy try, and they kept looking back. So, I mean, there could be a buck, 100 yards behind them, just kind of nudging them along, but. We'll see what happens. We got plenty of time still. Something could happen. It's, like I said, it's 5:45, 5:55, somewhere in there. I haven't checked my phone in like 10, 15 minutes. But, there's plenty of doe. So, and the wind is good. The wind's blowing over my right shoulder down the creek. And the deer usually cross over my left. Or if they come in close enough to get a shot on the bank on the other side. Fingers crossed. Chasing a doe through there, and then I saw another small buck chasing a doe up over there.